Gets, hey, what's up, guys? What is going on? Hope everybody's doing well. Chelsea versus Manchester United 1-0, which could have been a 2-0, honestly. Honestly, that could have been a 2-0 with Madueke. Had he scored that, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. He didn't even get pushed. I don't think he got pushed. I think it was just the fact that it was the end of the game, going super fast, and then just wobbled and just fell over. But that could have been a 2-0. That could have been a Chelsea 2-0, and I wouldn't have been that upset because I was a little bit upset that it just ended up a 1-0 when Chelsea, for the most part, they played a better game than Manchester United. I'm just saying that. The reason I'm kind of like doubting that's because like first half, the first maybe 20 minutes, that was a Manchester United game. That was in the hands of Manchester United. And I thought Manchester United were going to, first of all, I couldn't believe it. 53rd place, because that's what it feels like at this point. 17th, 16th place, whatever. It doesn't even matter at this point. Manchester United is actually controlling the game. And they were close to being able to score. Besides the offside, which was clearly an offside, but they were working it towards that left side. Was completely vacant, and Bruno Fernandes was doing a phenomenal job up until that point. Every single pass was just caviar pass. He looked so at ease. He was so in control of the game. And I thought Manchester United were going to score, first of all. They were going to score. I don't know about winning the game, and that would have been absolute pandemonium had Manchester United ended up winning this game. Because there's no reason why that team should be beating this fifth place team that is Chelsea, that's going to play the Champions League. I mean, what's the point? Sorry, Chelsea, but what is the point? You're going to get ripped apart. Like, Manchester United, if you guys win the Europa, you're also going to get it ripped apart. But that's an obvious one. But with Chelsea, I mean, that's also an obvious one. As long as this guy, Maresca's at the helm, you guys are going to just get obliterated. You got to get yourself somebody that has experience. Like the same thing that happened with Pochettino last season, where he got kicked out towards the end, and everyone was like in awe, like surprised that happened. Please, I hope the same thing happens with this guy. But the season started off so well. I don't care if you're not a Chelsea fan. You got to appreciate that was a really good start to the season. And then he makes that comment about we're not in title race. It's like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? At this point, how many years has it been since they spent like over $500 million? The way they were playing so good. So good. That's the kind of team I want to see in the Champions League. And you got to get yourself somebody that's more experienced. You know, if you have to wait till Hansi Flick gets fired from Barcelona, Chelsea, do that. Please do that and wait for somebody more experienced, because Maresca's not going to take you in there. I promise you, you guys are going to be complaining. Everybody was so happy at the end of the game. We're going to play Champions League for what? For what? You're getting manhandled by Manchester United, which I'm happy. I was happy to see that because I did not expect that for Manchester United early on in the game at Stamford Bridge, of all places. The game started off well for Manchester United. I thought they were going to score. Like I said, there was an offside. It was clearly an offside. But everything was just running through that left-hand side. Dorgu, especially with Dorgu, but anybody that was there. And that's how the offside goal came, through Bruno Fernandes. And despite not having really a striker, because Rasmus Højlund doesn't really count as a striker. Poor guy. I'm not trying to troll him. I'm not trying to make fun of him. I'm not trying to bash him at all. But he had a bomb of a game. Talk about bad. That was a really bad performance from Rasmus Højlund. Despite that, they actually looked good. Manchester United looked good. I thought they were going to score. I thought at one point they were going to be able to score. Mason Mount, I liked what he was doing. Again, another one, and he almost got to score in the second half. Another one that when he was starting, I was like, whoa, what's going on here? How come Garnacho's not starting? I was kind of doubting whether I should give the green light to myself to be able to accept the fact that Mason Mount was starting, but I liked what he did. Especially with the way things have been going for him lately, that he's been sidelined for such a long time. I think he did a pretty good job. Diallo as well. There was some good combinations with him and Bruno. Shot block with Mason Mount. That almost got to score his goal. I really wish that he did get his goal, only because they were just jeering him constantly throughout the game. I don't know why. I don't think he left on bad terms, if I'm not mistaken. And at that point, I think he was kind of done for. He was injured, or he wasn't playing that well. So I figured Chelsea were more than happy to send him off. And I don't think he would have celebrated in a way where he would have done one of these or shut them up or anything like that. I think he would have been respectful. And Manchester United looked good. I didn't think they were going to win the game, and I certainly didn't want that, because there was really no point for them to win this game, except if you're a Manchester United fan, you want them to win because they have been really winning. I don't know when's the last time that they won, but because Chelsea needed to win this game. They absolutely needed to win this game. And although I'm saying that they're going to get ripped apart when they're in Champions League, I still want to see them there because fingers crossed something happens. Maresca gets shown the door, or they actually get a really good striker and a goalkeeper, and that actually helps them out. Plus, starting off the season just like the way they did in this season, maybe they're lucky enough to get that kind of start. The penalty that from George, which wasn't a penalty, I know he's 19. A lot of people are going to defend him because he's 19 and he's young, but man, I always keep hearing about some wonder kid that Chelsea ended up snatching from some Brazilian team or from Argentinian team or who knows where at this point. And so that's telling me that there's competition. There's always somebody there. I mean, we always know with these top teams, there's always somebody there. There's always going to be a lot of competition. So I expected a little bit more from George, and he was one of the 4 or 5 players up front that was a no-show. And then a penalty, that was horrific the way he dove for that thing. I don't know, it looks like he got bit by a bee or something, like the way he jumped in front. It was just weird. And I think had he actually touched, like he kind of nicked the ball, he kind of grazed the ball. Had he made full contact and pushed the ball forward, I think he would have gotten the penalty. I do think he would have gotten the penalty, despite the weird, awkward, the fall didn't help either. It was just a weird fall. I mean, you do see him falling before, but I think he could have sold it a little bit better. It took a while for Chelsea to get into the game, like I said. Like George, Palmer, Neto, and Madueke were kind of a no-show those first 20-25 minutes, and then slowly they started to get into the game. Madueke on the left field taking on Mazraoui. I really liked that little duel. Like there were a couple of times where Mazraoui was giving him the whole lane to go forward, and yet despite that, because he didn't want him to cut in, or he knew he was trying to cut in, despite doing that, he still beat him. That little bit of acceleration ended up taking him past Mazraoui for him to get the center, and his centers were a bit better than Neto. Neto kind of struggled with some of the centers. Even though he was beating Dorgu, the centers weren't the best. They were right to Onana at times. But then afterwards, he started to settle in and just started to do a lot better. I really feel for Rasmus Højlund. I think he just isn't like Manchester United material. At this point, I think everybody could agree with that. He needs to go somewhere else for the sake of his mental health at this point, not even his career, his mental health, because he got just pushed around and bullied around by Towson. He was being tossed around by Towson the whole game pretty much. He didn't know how to use his body, was making weird decisions when he was getting the ball in the box, like just like turning around and just running right into a defender. Just bad all around, and he kept calling for service like inside the box, which at that point, can you really blame Diallo for not passing him the ball, or whoever it was that ended up having the ball, whether it was Bruno, whether it was Dorgu, whether it was Mazraoui? Nobody was giving him the ball, and sometimes you needed to give him the ball because he was right, he was all by himself, but he was having such a bad game that I wouldn't have trusted him with the ball, even if he was 100% by himself. And the thing is, like, he's going to play in the final. I can't see anybody else. Who else are you going to put up there in the front? There's nobody else. I don't think there's anybody else unless you put like a false nine with Bruno or Mainu, right? I think maybe that'll work, but I think he's going to play. And I'm just hoping he gets his light bulb moment and he actually scores, or he plays well. He provides an assist or makes life impossible for Tottenham's defense. I really hope so. Because that was categorically a really bad game from Rasmus Højlund. Garnacho coming in, he didn't really do much except get twirled around by by Reece James. I almost felt like, I mean, that was a really good play from Reece James, but I felt him coming in, I think he could have done a little bit better. The angle that he kind of gave Reece James just made it a little bit more easy, but I don't want to completely put all the blame on Garnacho because that was a really good move and the center was just caviar. And yet another defender scoring a goal with Cucurella. Really good header from Cucurella. And that's it. I thought it was a really good game. I thought it was going to end up 2-0 with Madueke. Should have scored that goal. I think Manchester United should have scored. At least they should have gotten one goal. But I'm happy, sort of, that Chelsea's in the Champions League just because I don't want to see them get by whoever it is so early on. And I really do hope that they get rid of Maresca. Anyways, guys, that's all I got for today. Thank you so much again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.